So, everyone knows board games like Monopoly, Life, you know, the household names. There are some pretty obscure games out there. So, today I have a list of 10 games, some real, some not. I'm going to read the list, give a minor description, and some game mechanics, and then I'm going to ask Johnny if he thinks they're real or fake. Now, I'm not going to be explaining anything like Monopoly or hell, I don't even play normal board games. What are some? Sorry.
Risk.
Yeah, no, I don't really play normal board games. I usually play the obscure ones that I find from our cameraman JT. So,
Number 1. Village.
Each player will take the reins of a family and have them find fame and glory in many different ways. There is one thing you must not forget. Time will not stop for anyone, and with time, people will vanish. Those who will find themselves immortalized in the Village Chronicles will bring honor to their family and be one step closer to victory. That's the description. The game mechanics, each player's turn consists of taking a cube and then taking the action of the area they just took the cube from. The board has multiple different zones with specific attributes: a market, a travel zone, a crafting zone, a church, council house, blah blah blah. Many of these offer multiple options, so even if you take a cube from a craft area, you can get an ox, etc, 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 it doesn't matter. Each zone is seeded with cubes of 4 colors, plus black cubes which serve as curses. There are lots of turns per round. Some areas offer short-term scoring, others offer long-term scoring, and still others offer only end-game scoring. The round ends when there are no cubes at any location. The game ends when either the Village Chronicle or the anonymous graveyard is full. So people either go down in history and the whole thing's filled, or everybody dies. True, or real, or not.
That sounds too weird to be fake. I think that's a real one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Village is a real game that came out in 2011.
Yeah. It sounds a lot like a role-playing video game. So,
Yeah, kind of.
it seems like someone took that idea and made it into a board game, which is kind of cool because that's how those sort of play anyway.
Yeah.
Number 2. Legend of the Five Rings.
It's a collectible card game set in the fantasy empire called Rokugan, based loosely upon medieval Japan and Japanese mythology. Legend of Five Rings is different from other collectible card games due to the concept of clan loyalty. Clan builds a game where, clans of the game are what you build your deck around. There we go. English, speaking, reading. And the communities that have built up around the Crane clan, the Lion clan, etc., all the different clans are, animal-based. Japan, etc., are the backbone of the game. So when you say, I'm a crab player, you instantly find yourself with hundreds and thousands of clanmates who are there to help you become a better player. When one member of the clan wins, all benefit. So it's a collectible card game that I think is played worldwide.
I do believe I've actually heard of that one, so I think it's real.
Yes. Yeah. Legend of Five Rings is now almost a 20-year-old game. It came out in 1995.
Yeah, I knew a guy back then that was actually working in the collectible card game industry, so that was one of the ones that I remember him mentioning. So
Nice.
Number 3. Record Store.
It's a card game for 2 to 5 players that takes about 20 to 30 minutes. Players compete with one another to make the most sales, and it's kind of an area control worker placement game, kind of with that whole hey fuck you aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Each card does different things to do different actions to either make a sale, counter a sale, steal a sale, back and forth, blah blah blah.
I'm gonna say that one's fake, and I hope it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it sounds like something that someone might actually make, but I don't think I'd like it.
Record Store does not exist.
Number 4. Too Many Cooks.
Yeah.
I like the title.
Okay, I can't even pronounce this. The writer Kinzia, Knizia. Concoction is a sort of trick-taking game, but instead of everybody playing one card and seeing which one wins the trick, everybody takes turns adding cards until the total adds up to 10, and the more the player, 10 or more, and the player who added that pile, or that card to the whole pile, takes the pile. Cards have a value, you play it until it adds to 10 or more. Whoever played the card that puts it over 10 takes the pile. This could be a good or bad thing depending on the player's goal for that particular round. There are 5 rounds to a game and exactly 5 different goals to be fulfilled. Take as many mushroom cards as you can, or as many pea soup cards as you can, etc., onions, chili, whatever. Or take no cards at all. Goals are revealed simultaneously, so you may or may not be in competition with another player for the same cards during the round. There are 5 rounds to a game, exactly 5 cards, so it usually takes about half an hour.
That sounds too confusing to be fake. I think that's real.
Indeed. Too Many Cooks was in 2002 and is, yes, a chef game.
Number 5. Mage War.
Mage War is a tactical board game, combination of card and miniatures, combining the best elements of each. The game is played on an arena game board divided into square areas called zones, which regulate movement and placement of objects. Each mage or player starts in the corner of an arena, opposite his enemy. It's a one-on-one game. Each player holds a spell book from which the spell cards are pulled out as they cast during the game. It gives them the feeling of being a real mage, turning the pages of your tome of magic as you plan your strategy each turn. So basically, you start on opposite corners like a boxing match, you have a bunch of cards.
I just pictured a couple of wizards with boxing gloves on going at it. So. Alright.
Nice.
Yeah. Where's that game? Yeah. Alright.
Yeah. Rock'em Sock'em Robots with wizard hats.
Yeah.
There we go.
Alright.
That's an easy variant. You just fucking put wizard hats on them and then shout spells at each other. No rowling shit, because that, no. Sorry, JK, but no. Anyway, attacks deal damage as well as entering special effects such as burn, corrode, stun, daze, push, cripple, paralyze, blah, 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 blah.
Well, that just made the Rock'em Sock'em version more interesting. Dump some nitric acid on you.
Random creatures show up, played at random throughout the deck.
Mm-hmm.
That make it interesting. You could either both fight the thing or just let it attack somebody.
Also translates to the Rock'em Sock'em one. All of a sudden, there's a fucking tiger! Yeah. So,
yeah, that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Look forward to that in 2015. Rock'em Sock'em
Wizards.
So, Mage Wars, real or fake?
I think that's real.
It is.
Sounds kind of cool.
2012,
Yeah.
and I want to get this game.
Is that new? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like $160.
Ooh, okay. Well.
It was like 40 when it was new.
Yeah.
It got BoardGameGeek.com back in 2012 when it came out. It took about 3 months. It blew the fuck up. It was up in the top 5 when I was looking for obscure games.
Yeah, I don't know, when you're talking, over $100 for a game, that damn thing, the spells better really work or something, because that's too much for me.
Number 6. Dungeon Pets.
Are you sure this isn't a porno?
Become the leader of an imp family that has just started a new
Still
business.
sounds like a porno.
Breeding and selling pets.
Okay, go on.
Sounds simple and safe? Well, we forgot to mention that those pets are for dungeon lords. This means magical, playful, sometimes angry monsters that constantly desire attention. And at the very moment you want them to demonstrate their qualities to buyers, they're either sick or they poop. Sometimes you're even glad that you got rid of them, but the profit is unbelievable.
This actually sounds real.
Yeah. Dungeon Pets 2011.
Number 7. Ascension RPG with playing cards.
2 to 4 player cooperative survival deck building game with just 2 decks of playing cards, regular playing cards. Players choose to play as a warrior, a paladin, a rogue, or a mage, the 4 different suits, and they need to work together to defeat the monster deck before their own health runs out. It's played with a d20 and a deck of cards. Well, 3 decks of cards total.
Yeah, okay.
Different cards have different effects, blah blah blah. They can only use cards from their class depending on which suit they chose, and then they go from there.
What was the name of it?
Ascension RPG with playing cards.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool game, but I kind of think it's not real.
Sadly, Ascension is not a real game.
Okay.
Number 8. If you go into the woods.
Okay.
Players take on the role of bunny rabbits hopping in the woods to search for food. However, there's a danger deep in the woods. In the middle of the woods, there lives a dragon. Now, the dragon likes to sleep, but he also likes bunny rabbits for dinner. If the bunnies make too much noise, they'll wake the dragon, drop their food, and go home hungry. Who can be the quietest bunny and collect the most food before winter comes? On a player's turn, they either turn over a pathway card and add food tokens, or return home and collect any food collected. It's kind of a press your luck game. You can either keep going and get more, but also have the chance of losing it,
Yeah.
or just go back and get what you got. The start player will take one of 2 actions, and then the player to their left will take one of the actions, and so on. Players continuing to play until one player has collected the predetermined number of food tokens. If any one player draws a pathway card that causes the total noise on the pathway to exceed 10, the player awakens the dragon. The player who wakes the dragon returns home and loses all food collected. Pathway cards are played and discarded. Any player who, to the left or right of the player who woke the dragon loses half of their pathway cards rounded up and loses the food on these cards. All these food tokens are returned to the stock. When a player reaches the predetermined number of food tokens, they win the game. So they pick a number like 50 or whatever, depending on however the cards work. And then whoever gets to that number wins.
Okay. Actually sounds real.
No.
Oh, okay.
If you go into the woods is not a real game.
Okay.
But it should.
I just thought the weirdness of, bunny rabbits versus dragons just sounds like something that's probably out there.
It should be real.
Yeah. Now that I know all 3 of the ones that are fake, it doesn't really matter because I'm gonna get the rest right. But anyway,
Yeah.
alright. So let's go through the
But-
rest anyway.
You don't know how many fake ones I found. I did spend a lot of time looking up fake games.
What do you mean looking them up?
Just people that were just like, this could be a fun game.
Oh, okay.
This would be a fun game.
All right. I kind of thought you just sat around thinking, what can I?
Those were the 3 that I thought of. I was just sitting here bored at work.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay. Of course, fucking the only one that came up with involved dragons.
Yeah.
Or magic. Or bunny death.
Still gotta have those Rock'em Sock'em wizards.
That has gotta happen. Okay, anyway.
Number 9. Dragon's Gold.
In Dragon's Gold, each player controls a team of dragon hunters, 2 knights, a thief, and a wizard. Like all dragon hunters, they only have one goal: gold, silver, jewels, and magic objects. That's 4, by the way. As for actually killing a dragon, it's a piece of cake. But the most difficult part comes after the dragon is dead. The adventuring party has to figure out how to share the spoils. As soon as the dragon is overpowered, then some additional gems are revealed, and players who participate in that hunting party show up to a negotiation over how to divvy up the gems. So it's kind of a negotiation, action, adventure RPG thing, played with miniatures and dice. It's like D&D with set rules. It's not kind of a free range thing.
Yeah.
It just sucks. I love. Anyway, when all the dragons have been slain and the treasures claimed or discarded, the game ends and the players score their holdings. Everything is worth a different amount of points. Whoever has the most points at the end wins.
I don't think I like that game.
I wouldn't play it.
Yeah.
Real or fake?
Well, pretty sure it's real. Yeah.
Legends of Vandor.
Legends of Vandor is a cooperative adventure board game for 2 to 4 players in which a band of heroes...
Sorry, I'm just picturing the point of the game is like, you're a kid walking home from school and you gotta try not to get kidnapped. So.
Fake.
Yeah.
That one is fake, and this is my game.
Alright.
Okay, let's see. 2 to 4 players in which a band of heroes must work together to defend Fantasy Realm from invading hordes. Okay, so before I continue reading this, why is every game nowadays that's not like based in modern times, which there are very few, like Monopoly, that's based in modern times. You're trying to monopolize the country. There's all of these spaces around the country. Why is everything so... It's D&D. Every game that has come out is a fucking campaign from a D&D adventure.
Yeah.
like, I swear, in like the 80s, when every game was trying to take off in the RPG realm that wasn't just like fucking Galaga and fucking Pac-Man and shit.
Yeah.
Game developers were sitting down, playing D&D, high off their ass, and they're just like, please tell me someone was writing all of that down because I want to make this into something that we can do again.
Well, and what makes it more hilarious is the fact that, like, in the 80s, you know, then late 70s, I think. What D&D started? Yeah.
76.
Yeah. So, yeah, late 70s, early 80s, like, there was so much bullshit going around about, you know, D&D because, like, for some reason we had this obsession that, like, you know, anything that deals with magic, any form of entertainment that portrays the use of magic was, you know, somehow akin to devil worship. And then, you know, all of a sudden, like now, yeah, you were looking at all the different game concepts, and they're all either related to or just very similar or completely ripped off of D&D.
Fucking swords and sorcery, dragons being a key point,
Yeah.
dragons being fucking half of D&D,
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, dragons being the hardest thing to kill in there except for maybe a level 33 fucking Orcos. But he's just a demon, so even he's afraid of dragons. Anyway, I'm done with this list because, well, one, you know the rest of them are real. Two, it's all the same game with a different title.
Pretty much. Now, one of the things I was wondering is, you say you like to play a lot of like weird, you know, obscure board games and stuff like that.
Yes.
What are some of your favorites?
Okay, this is gonna make me sound a little bit like a hypocrite.
Cool.
Because my favorite board game is actually something I just found out about from JT. It's called the Red Dragon Inn. It is literally a play off of D&D. So D&D, most campaigns you start in a tavern.
Yeah.
You go off and you do your adventure because the fucking barmaid or the wench or fucking some random drunk walks in and tells you to do some shit. Or you all just fucking leave the tavern before your fucking DM gets to tell you what the quest is and you go off and do some shit and make your DM work.
Right. Now, I've spent a lot of time in bars. I never once had someone come in with a mission for me, so I'm a little bit bummed out on that. So, alright, go on. Red Dragon Inn.
Red Dragon Inn is what happens at the tavern afterwards. You've gathered all your gold, you've finished your quest. It's a bunch of motherfuckers that are tired of shit and just looking to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point of the game is to go around in a circle, however many people are playing, 3 to like 20. I think there's like 20 characters possibly playable. And everybody has cards. There's action cards, sometimes cards, anytime cards, and gambling cards.
Mm-hmm.
Action cards you play once on your turn. You start your turn by discarding as many cards as you want and drawing back up to 7.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either have a new hand at the beginning of your turn or just get rid of a couple.
Yeah.
You play an action, which usually does some kind of damage to somebody or gets somebody a little more drunk, because on your game mat, you have a 0 to a 20 in a circle.
Okay.
You have your fortitude at 20, your alcohol content at 0. That's how you start the game. You can lose fortitude by getting your ass beat, or you can get drunk by drinking drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Once those physically meet or go over each other, and if it's not resolved and fixed by the end of that turn, you're out of the game. You start the game with 10 gold, just to make it easy, because most fucking game boxes don't come with much.
Mm-hmm.
So you play an action, either getting somebody drunk, beating him up, taking a gold, or starting a gambling round. Card's called Gambling I'm In. Starts a gambling round. You go around and anybody has a gambling card, a cheating card, a winning hand card. They take control of the round. Cheating cards beat cheating cards. Anti-cheating cards beat cheating cards. Winning hand beats everything.
Okay.
Cheating card, no. Beats everything but cheating.
Okay.
Cheating beats winning hand. It kind of...
Alright. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But if you cheat, do you get beaten?
No.
Ah.
Unless you're caught with an anti-cheating, which some of them, like there's Gog the Barbarian, the half-orc fucking barbarian. One of his one of his sometimes cards is basically, Gog think you cheating, and he fucking runs up and decks the motherfucker and takes the gold and runs off.
Nice.
You lose 2 fortitude, gambling round's over, done. So
Fair enough.
it goes discard and draw, action card, and then you buy a drink from the bar.
Mm-hmm.
The drinks are paid for, so you literally just draw from the drink pile and you give it to somebody. So the rest of your game mat, besides the 0 to 20, you have your deck, your discard, and a drink me pile. everything in the drink me pile is face down until you go to drink it. So you buy a drink for somebody, put it in the drink me pile, leave it face down. And then you drink a drink from your drink me pile to end your turn. That's how your turn is over.
Okay.
They've got everything from water to dirty dishwater, to dragon breath ale, to dwarven swill. Like, they've got drinks and drinks and drinks and drinks. Some people, they go a little too far, and they read every different type of drink card, and they try to make a drink to match it. And then they play this game as a drinking game, where you have to drink the drink that your character is drinking.
I'm curious about the dirty dishwater one.
And then continue to try to play the game. Because when it's, so say I finish my turn, I drink my drink, I lose a couple of alcohol content or gain a couple alcohol content, then it's your turn. If I have an anytime card that does damage to somebody else and you're like halfway through your turn, because we are still in a bar and it is still D&D-esque, I can just, you're halfway through your turn, I have an anytime card, I could be like, Ryan, you lose 2 fortitude, I got bored and punch you in the dick.
Yeah. So. Okay.
But on that same note, it's just like D&D, and almost anything that you can think of is possible because it's already been thought of by the guys that created the game because, well, they play D&D. So there's like a sometimes card that says, I don't think so. It negates an action card or an anytime card or a sometimes card, and the only thing that can counteract that is another I don't think so card.
Okay.
All of these cards up on top have flavor text for each individual character. Every character has special cards that match their character. It's, they're literally making you role play without role play.
Yeah, without actually doing anything. You're just sitting around drinking. So.
And playing cards.
Yeah.
That's it. With the exception of making it an actual drinking game, my new favorite fucking board game. Because seriously, we played it the first night with 3 people. And it took us like half an hour. Because we added actual gambling. Because they have a gambling deck as an expansion pack where they created actual gambling games that would be played in the Red Dragon Inn. So when a gambling round comes around, you don't just try to see who has the best gambling card. You actually have to play fucking gambling games. 3 people, gambling games, half an hour. The next time I was, 2 days later, we went back, we started a game with 13 people. That's an addition of 10 for those that don't do math. We went from 3 to 13. It took us 5 hours, and that's after 4 people left early. So you can either get beaten up, get drunk, meet in the middle, or if you lose all of your gold, the inn throws you the fuck out because you can't pay for your drinks anymore.
Yeah, that whole 5 hours thing, that is one reason why I don't play D&D.
Yes. That is a reason why a lot of people don't play D&D, is because I have sat there...
I mean, it would be super fucking fun, but then again, it's 5 hours.
I've sat there, I think my longest run, we did an entire campaign in 4 days. Usual campaign, you're playing for like a month and a half, every maybe 2 times a week on a Monday and a Friday, or Monday and a Thursday. We finished an entire campaign in 4 days. We slept for 2 hours on the middle of the 2nd and 3rd day. Woke back up, played again. We came out of that campaign, and for a week, none of us remembered who the fuck we actually were. We were just, all of us were characters, because we're all hyper role players. We don't we don't metagame, we don't fucking talk to each other in normal voices, we don't say each other's name. I'm not just like, hey Johnny, it's your turn. I'd be like, hey Bilbo, why aren't you
I will not be Bilbo. Thank you.
Flagnar.
Dragor.
Drador, shit or get off the pot. See you guys next week.